So obviously, 'tis the season to find out what you've been listening to on Spotify.
Yep.
And KB, do you want to take it away with your one first? Maybe give a bit of context for each one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of Spotify Wrapped, if you have Spotify, you would have seen it come up on yours as well. It's basically a list of your statistics for the entire year, the amount of songs you've listened to, genres, all that sexy stuff. But based on the fact that sometimes Katie does control my phone when I'm in the car for Spotify playlist, it does kind of get a bit mixed. So to start it off, it will start out with this one, which says you've listened to 266 genres this year, including 58 new ones. So I wonder if that includes extreme metal with Anal Nathrak and maybe a bit more shoegaze from Rob's recommendations. That could possibly be a thing, but also you'll see how that is not only the case with another image that will come up, because I have discovered 217 new artists. Thank you, Bees. And also thank you, Rob, for listening to this. And also thank you, the determination to make a top albums of the year list since January. So I'm happy about that. And I think I've backtracked as well. I've, putting Deftones on my playlist definitely contributed to that. So my top genres, and this is where I was like, really? Melodic metalcore has been my top number one genre, which I can see, because I've listened to albums such as Bury Tomorrow and stuff around it. Trivium, I don't know if it counts as melodic metalcore in some aspects. Maybe Spotify does count it as that. But then you've got alternative metal. That might be like Deftones or something like that. Pop punk.
Pop punk is the interesting one, because you're not a pop punk guy at all.
No, definitely not. I mean, maybe. Well, I wouldn't class Arctic Monkeys as that. Maybe it's Katie playing the Machine Gun Kelly album. That could be a possibility, but I don't think she's played it that much. Maybe it's gone through to, because she, I listen to all the songs I've downloaded on a liked playlist, and she puts on daily mixes, but I don't do that because sometimes I'm more likely to skip a song on Daily Mix than I am to skip a song on liked songs, because I really try to narrow that down.
Yeah.
Metal, as generic as ever, and metalcore, I mean, I didn't know you could get any different.
Well, no deathcore on there, interestingly, although I feel maybe Spotify, maybe you're not allowed to call your band deathcore.
Why not?
It has the word death in it.
What, are they 4Kids?
I don't know. That's the only reason why I would say, because you listen to a lot of deathcore, don't you?
I do, yeah. I mean,
so maybe that could be what metal is.
Although last year we did have a few deathcore albums out, like Thy Art Is Murder and Fit for an Autopsy, and I was definitely listening to metal deathcore there. So maybe it's just because I've listened to those to death, maybe I've just gone on to listen to other new albums, and those albums have happened to be from mostly the metalcore genre. So that could be a thing. My most played song is Catastrophist by Trivium.
It's a great song, to be fair.
I mean, I was playing it non-stop when it first came out. I was playing it non-stop when the album came out, and I'm surprised it's not What the Dead Men Say, though. I thought I listened to that a lot more, but apparently not.
The dead men say
it's just between
us. I can't help but sing. It's just a penis.
Dead Man's Penis. Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Dead Man's Finger.
Yes.
My Catastrophist by Trivium. So my first stream.
I don't want to know where that Dead Man's Finger's gone, to be honest.
Right.
Where it ends up.
Right in the bottle.
Yeah. Oh dear.
How'd you get this up? I'm curious about my taste. What up? The Dead Man's Penis.
Dead Man's Finger in somewhere to get it up.
We're so raunchy.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So if you
go on the Spotify, essentially, if you go on the homepage, it should be there underneath your recommended playlists, so you can find out for yourself what you've been listening to. Catastrophist, no, that is, I mean, Bees put it as his album of the year. What the Dead Men Say. Would it be up there for you? Do you think as well?
At the moment, yeah, it's up there at the moment. I still got to go through the list. I think I'm still through February because I've just been doing other things, so I'm gonna catch up with it, and I'll probably have a video to come up nearer to the end of the month, so I can count some of December's albums as well. So we'll see. I mean, total streams 95. When you just look at it from a number, it just seems so different to, when that sounds like not enough, to be honest. 50th stream March 11th. So yeah, not 4 days. I can't count. I've listened to it just the day after loads of times. So yeah, gotta love variety. Exactly. Catastrophist, then Choke by Bury Tomorrow, Cannibal by Bury Tomorrow. I thought I listened to Better Below more, but I guess not. Okay, there's What the Dead Men Say, and there's Better Below.
Better Below is a brilliant song. That's probably my favourite song from the from Cannibal. If I had to pick one.
Yeah, I have a great taste in music, not gonna lie.
So Trivium.
let's just.
So Trivium Bury Tomorrow tour.
Yes, I'd love that. I'd love that so much, because I mean they're both community style kind of bands as well. Yeah, exactly. So I think that would work really well. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about it. I mean, if anyone is taking this as face value,
I've heard it's a good podcast.
It's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. The gist of it is, one of the podcaster's dad wrote a pornographic book, but he doesn't really know that area in its entirely, like in terms of anatomy and stuff. So what he writes on paper is just so bizarre, and you just gotta listen to the whole thing to get the full gist of it. But the actual, when they try to make stories and those kinds of videos and stuff, it's kind of, reading that sort of stuff is just a whole different level with how they try to describe it. It's like reading something by Stephanie Meyer.
Right. So it's an audio book then.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. Alice Levine, have you heard of Alice Levine?
No.
She's mostly a radio DJ. You can see her on BBC Radio 1. She's one of the hosts of the podcast, and she's very funny. And in the context of this, a good girl. I listened to it before it was cool. What the Dead Men Say. I listened to it before 50,000 streams.
Yeah, I don't think I got one of those.
My throwback is People Equal Shit by Slipknot. I don't know.
Yep.
This is a bit of an interesting one. I don't remember listening to that a lot, but I think that just came up on those Daily Mix playlists.
Masterpiece of an album, Iowa.
Oh, absolutely.
Still my favourite Slipknot album.
Yeah, but there you go. And my top artist, Bury Tomorrow. No sitting at the losers table for me. This is all the stuff I just put up on Instagram, by the way.
You put on Instagram, yeah.
And I streamed 1,535 minutes of Choke. So if you ever need someone to fill in for vocals, Bury Tomorrow, then here's your guy right here.
Have you done any Bury Tomorrow covers? On your covers channel?
Yeah, my latest one is Gods and Machines.
Oh yeah, I probably should check that out.
One of my favourites so far.
KB, what covers do you have on your covers channel of Bury Tomorrow?
Oh, I would only go for Gods and Machines, and I think I've got one of Stormbringer as well. Because when I did Black Flame, I had a cold at the time, so my screams don't sound as good. So, yeah. But after that, my voice healed, and I was getting to grips with how I should do it. And Gods and Machines as well is an album. It is a song that kind of made me need to do lows as well. So I was doing some lows in that song as well, which is not usually what I do in terms of false chord. I think doing lows with false chord, like a is hard to do when you're trying to do the same technique as highs. But anyway, we've got Bury Tomorrow, Trivium, we know that already. Bleed From Within, I played that album non-stop because it's such a fantastic album. Silosis,
That album is fantastic as well.
Yeah, and I thought
Not given as much credit, I don't think, the Sylosis album from this year, but
yeah.
it is currently number 13 in my albums of the year.
Yeah,
It's only just over the top 10. Circle of Suffering.
yeah.
Brilliant.
I
Album.
would probably prefer the Bleed from Within album on more levels.
Oh, that Bleed from Within album is in my top 10.
But Sylosis, it is a very solid album. And Josh is just a fantastic musician.
Yeah.
And then Thornhill, who they released my number one album of last year, and in that sense, that had to carry over to this year as well.
Well, Jackie Atlas says that his top song is apparently "Game of Love" by Santana and Michelle Brown. That is a great song, though. That is a fantastic song, Jackie. Written by the same guy who was responsible for the New Radicals. "You Get What You Give," which is an amazing song.
Yeah. So are these your pictures now?
Yes. Okay. So I should probably explain some of the. Can you maybe?
Is this the first picture?
They can go in any order, I guess. But here's some of the most notable things. So with Spotify, for me, it's a bit weird, right? I should explain really the context of what I use it and how I use it. I'm the sort of guy who still likes to collect CDs, right, and import them onto my iTunes, which is a bit of I don't know. It's kind of a bit of an anachronism in today's day and age to do it that way.
But it's like a sort of I won't say it's like a ritual, but it definitely holds a place for people.
So I would say most of my favorite artists and bands that I listen to over and over again, I listen to via my iTunes, and also I specifically create playlists which are because I'm obsessed with rating songs at the moment, particularly this year. So I create playlists specifically of songs that I hardly ever listen to, or have never listened to before, and then rate them. And I do the same thing to an extent with Spotify. But I also use Spotify to play songs by my mates' bands over and over and over again to just get the rack the listen count up, and get them a bit of exposure. So it's a bit wonky in terms of what I'm actually using Spotify for, and as a result, my Wrapped is kind of coming out a bit weird as a result. But 5 of my players gained 90 new followers. I imagine it was mostly the OSW review playlist I made. I don't know why. I was just completely bored during lockdown, and I at the beginning of lockdown in about April, March, I retraced through all of the OSW review episodes, and this is so sad. I basically went through all of the songs that they covered a cappella style during each review and put them into one massive playlist, which you can follow. It's called OSW Review. If you're a fan of that podcast, I've collated a massive playlist full of songs that the lads from the podcast have covered because I'm that sad. So I imagine that's where the majority of the followers have gone to. Let me just double check how many followers it has. Yeah, so it's got 135 followers at the moment on Spotify. So I guess a lot of them kind of came in the last, couple of months or so. That 90 anyway. Whereas most of my players have got like 1 or 2 followers. That's my main one.
Okay.
But yeah, next, I'm just glad that I'm branching out and people are interested in my players. Top decade was 1990s, obviously. Yeah, if I were going by the Afghan Wigs, that's another thing of the algorithm problem, because I don't know that song at all, but it's just part of a massive playlist that I've curated where I've put like bands and artists that I need to listen to in one big thing, and I'll play it on shuffle as I go to sleep.
It's like you have listened to it, you just don't remember it.
Yeah, I have listened to it. I just don't remember. I listened to a lot of music, for one, and also it was probably playing over and over again as I was asleep with my earphones in, So, but I agree with my top decade being the 1990s because, most of my favorite bands originated in the mid 90s. Alice in Chains, Oasis, Deftones,
Yeah. Okay.
Foo Fighters. I listened to 830 artists this year.
Okay, that's more than me. Yeah.
I would like to again. I would echo your sentiments in thanking Bees for this because since I started following Mosh Talks, my palette has expanded considerably, and you've helped as well, introducing me to like deathcore and things like that. But my God, yeah, I've been on a roll this year with new artists, and this year, it's unprecedented for me to come up with an album of the year list that's like more than 10
Yeah.
9 albums.
I find that
this year, my list has got 71 albums on it.
Yeah, I think like last year I couldn't even like there were so many albums that I wanted to put on my list last year that I just could not round it down to just 10. I had to pick 20. And there was some on there that I was like, I don't really have much to say about it, so it could have been a top 25, but I just settled on 20.
And if you follow Mosh Talks on Twitch, you'll probably know my top 30 list because I did disclose it to Bees.
Yeah, of course.
But however, did I show you what the highlight from the album of the year show? Did we cover that one?
I think.
Where I took off the shirt?
Yeah, we did that last week.
So
no, we didn't. No, we didn't because that came straight after. All right.
All right. Well, I guess for a last minute thing to kind of on the end of this Spotify wrap, we could show the video of me being interviewed.
Okay.
By Bees.
Yeah,
it's on my Facebook if you want to look at it.
But if you want to,
but I'll pad it out for now. Whilst you're looking for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I came up with basically a list of about 71 albums. At the bottom of that list, I have stuff like Father of All and Mushroomhead's new album. Not great albums. But at the very top, sits Loathe, Deftones, The Hell. Bob Mold's album, Higher Powers album, Hum's album. In fact, last night, Bees interviewed Jeremy Bolm from Touche Amore on Mosh Talks, and he was hyping up that Hum album as one of his favorite releases of the year. So I'm glad that Hum album is getting so much recognition because it is utterly brilliant.
Yeah.
Essentially, my songs of the year. I will just quickly have a look whilst KB is getting up.
Where did you send it to, Rob? No,
it's on my. If you go on my profile.
On your Twitch.
No, on my Facebook.
On your Facebook, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you sent it to me through Messenger.
Yeah,
that's my bad.
If you go on my Facebook page, Facebook profile, and then scroll down, it should be there somewhere. There we go. That's it.
There we go. All right.
Now top 10.
But just to wrap it up, basically, my top artists were according to this algorithm.
I fucking love it, man.
Which is slightly inaccurate. Were Diversion, who are basically one half of Wednesday, which is my Green Day tribute band, their main band. They're sort of pop punk kind of / alternative rock. But there was one song of theirs I really liked, so I was playing over and over again to rack up the view count. Hence why that song, Force of Nature, is actually my number one song of the year, even though it's not, Teenage Wrist was my second top artist because I did actually play Earth is a Black Hole and Silver Spoon repeatedly on Spotify because they're masterpieces, and I cannot wait for the record to come out February next year. Fu Manchu, which was a really interesting one because I didn't think I listened to that much of them. They're kind of a stoner rock / desert rock band from the 90s. But again, it's kind of they're in that massive playlist I curated, and there's a lot of songs.
Top 10 underway.
Same
I fucking love it, man. So.
And what are you doing?
I clicked the button and it's just auto played Bees. I was like,
all right, well, don't do it until I finish this up.
So great.
No, stop it.
Floods. Yeah, leave it. Floods in Japan, who are my mate Lawrence's band from Canterbury, who used to be known as Wolf Sunday. They're a kind of hardcore punk outfit. And Chevelle, like I said. And obviously, my top 5 songs wouldn't be complete without 2 bangers from my boys Puppy in The Great Beyond and Poor Me. So I guess that concludes really my my Spotify Wrapped. It's not very accurate, but just goes to show you how my mind works in terms of listening to Spotify.